San Andreas is certainly full of ambitious people, in this case ambitious developers. Naturally, some projects will just never be finished or might be finished years later after the proposed date. We will go over all these construction sites today, and please leave a like and subscribe for the fantastic YouTube algorithm. That was sarcasm, and let's dive in. Thank you to my channel members as well, and let's go. First off, we have a construction site in Little Seoul. This site appears to be an office space as it has sizable windows that overlook the main street. It also has a bridge situation going on between the two buildings, which is unlikely to be in an apartment complex. There's also an underground parking garage underneath both structures, or at least the start of one. This is prime real estate in Los Santos, and with the project still not being finished, the company is likely losing millions of dollars every year due to fees and the lack of income from the project. This building was developed by STD contractors, which we will see more of soon, and it sits as it does now, unfinished. Next up, we have an empty plot of land next to the Pero Pier. This is not so much a construction site as it is an empty plot of land, I will say. I actually think it's quite odd that Rockstar never used this for a building or anything, as this has been here since day one with absolutely nothing happening to it. Certainly could be used for houses or a beachside business or something of value, but as of now though, it sits incomplete without ground even being broken yet. Next up, we have an unfinished house in Vinewood Hills. A house in the Vinewood Hills is insanely expensive, so this being here incomplete is terrible for the developer. Once again, not only are they losing money by the house not being rented out or paid for by a developer or something, they are also paying fees to keep the land and whatnot. There is actually a foundation, so construction got started relatively speaking, but it was just never finished. By now there must be so much fees on this land, however, that no one may want to complete the project because of all the debt. Next up, we have a construction site near downtown Los Santos. This development also appears to be office buildings, as it has a similar blueprint to the one in Little Seoul. The same company, STD Contractors, is also working on this building as well. It seems that they may have bad luck though, or are just lousy, because both of their projects here seem to get stuck in development hell about halfway through. There is a good amount of actual work done here, but it's mostly the frame and some windows. It seems that they also started to make the foundation for another building on site, but it doesn't have nearly as much progress as the other two. And that's how the site sits today, unfinished with no future in sight. Devin Weston might have also been a developer or investor on the project, as we meet him here during the mission I Fought the Law, so that's interesting. Next up, we have the unfinished underground tunnels. There's a large space near the Union Depository that has been unfinished for a long period of time. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a metro station, as it's in the right place for it, and the tunnels that lead here eventually lead to the other metro tunnels as well, so they probably link up in the middle here in some sort of fashion. Unlike the other developments we've looked at so far, this one is the only one that has been developed by the city and not a private company. City development usually takes a long time, as you have to go through permits and funding and everything in between, so we may never know when this will be finished. Next up, we have this unfinished dock work. This doesn't appear to be any major work or development, just an unfinished site at the docks. Even though there are construction workers here, they appear to just be standing around not really doing much, probably posting on Life Invader. The city probably has bigger problems than to finish this, but it doesn't seem like a big development, so why not just get it over with? Who really knows? Next up, we have an unfinished house in Elboro Heights. This house is actually right across from Lester's. There is a foundation to the build, but that's about it. A fence also surrounds the home, but it's obviously temporary. Can't say this area is super profitable for a developer, but it certainly won't lose value over time. Next up, we have a Mirror Park house next to the LS River. There are actually a few houses in Mirror Park that are unfinished, so this is the first we'll go over. The very basic foundation is there, but nowhere near done. It resides next to the LS River, so it's probably less desirable than some other homes in the area, so it remains unfinished. Next up, we have an empty plot of land in Mirror Park. It seems that there used to be a house here, but it got demolished, as you can kind of see where it used to be on the ground. Ground hasn't even been broken yet though for a new home, and bushes still occupy the land, so this house is nowhere near done at all. Construction hasn't even started. We have another unfinished house in Mirror Park here. This next house appears to have started construction or was previously a home but got demolished as well. As of now though, it sits with the bare foundation and a driveway. A fence also blocks off the sidewalk from having access to the land as well. The fence is only in story mode actually, which is quite odd. The fence does not appear in GTA Online, just in story mode. There is another unfinished house on Mirror Park Boulevard here. This development is on the main street of Mirror Park, which definitely adds value to the land as it's on the main street, obviously, kind of the prize of the town. It also has a driveway and basic layout constructed. Probably one of the more valuable homes in Mirror Park, but certainly not the most. Next up, we have multiple properties in Mirror Park being developed on one plot of land. This next development is actually a series of homes that went unfinished. You can actually see the finished example just up the street. This one never got there though, and it sits as it does now. Some people can actually be seen here at night, partying in the unfinished homes and having a blast, so I doubt security even patrols this area anymore. Either way, this entire development is unlikely to be finished anytime soon. Next up, we have a demolished house next to the casino. There likely used to be a house here, but it just got demolished and nothing has been done with the land since. Although the property value has probably gone up due to its proximity to the Diamond Casino and Resort. Due to it being so close, the value probably went up because people want to gamble just a short walk away from their home, which is probably an addiction, but it's not mine. Next up, we have an unfinished home in Rockford Hills. This house actually looks to be quite an ambitious, luxurious property. It appears to have multiple stories and a pool with a jacuzzi as well. As we all know though, building a house can be quite expensive, especially in a nice area like this, so the development cost must be through the roof on this thing. The home also sits next to a park as well, which likely adds value to the property. I would like to see this get complete, as I can see the vision as it stands now, but unfortunately, I may never be able to. Next up, we have this unfinished mansion across from Michael's. This appears to be a rather basic house for the Rockford area, but a big one nonetheless. It sits on land worth a fortune and also probably has high fees tied to it as well. The very bare framework of the house is here as well as the foundation, but that's about where it ends. It's important to mention that a KOIAER prep mission also takes place here, which means that this building currently has an obligation to accommodate that mission, so this building will likely never be finished, although there are ways that can happen, which we will go over later on. Next up, we have this unfinished office building in Little Seoul. I think this is an office, as the space is rather small for a hotel or a home. Not much has been done here at all though, with the bare foundation and a tiny bit of framework being present here. It does sit in a rather good area next to a park, which definitely increases the property value as well, but for now, the property is incomplete. Next up, we have two unfinished homes next to the Vespucci Police Department. These two homes are in construction still, but are in very different phases of construction. One is nearly done, just needing some windows, doors, and small work here and there. The other is not nearly as done. The frame is there as well as the foundation, although it is quite dirty and doesn't look ready to support a house at all, but you know, I'm not the developer here. Still, the duality of construction is clearly shown here, and it's interesting to see how both have come along so far. Next up, we have an unfinished house next to the beach. This is as expensive as it gets when it comes to land in San Andreas. A beachside house could easily go for over $10 million once complete, but this obviously isn't complete. It was also the scene of a shootout in story mode in which a gas tank blew up a large majority of it, so that always helps. Maybe after that the developer gave up, or maybe not. Even if the developer were to sell it as is though, they could actually make money on it, as it has been a significant amount of time since they first bought it, so the property has likely appreciated. The land at least, not the house obviously. Next up, we have the Redwood Racetrack. The Redwood Racetrack was set to be constructed next to Sandy Shores, right on the outskirts of it. A good amount of progress was actually completed on the track, but it eventually fell through. The reasons are unknown, but regardless, the track sits as it does now. Empty, muddy, with some buildings having their foundations already. I think this track still has potential as of now. It would be nice to race around it in cars or maybe dirt bikes, and maybe have it kind of as an arena war sort of track thing, but unfortunately Rockstar has yet to do anything with it. But there is another year we have until GTA 6, so who knows. Next up, we have the LS Dam. The dam is rather complete except for a few things here and there that the city is fixing up. There is some scaffolding on the face of the dam, which is likely part of some expansion. Not really too much construction going on, but I thought I would still mention it because construction is construction after all. Next up, we have a train station next to Sandy Shores. There's an unfinished train station in Sandy Shores that appears to be relatively complete. It looks like there was supposed to be a parking lot situation here, but that isn't finished. The actual station itself is rather complete, with the train even being inside as well. I always thought it was a shame that there were no passenger cars or trains in GTA 5, because Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 do have a train, so I figured they could kind of just import the same model. Although Red Dead Redemption 2 did come after GTA 5, I'm sure they could kind of reverse port it into GTA 5, but unfortunately they just never did. But maybe GTA 6 will have them. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Next up, we have an unfinished dealership in Paleto Bay. There's an unfinished dealership in Paleto Bay right here. I'm surprised they actually didn't bring it to fruition after adding 2 dealers in the game, because that would have been pretty cool and it would have made sense if they added it then, but I mean, that was their opportunity right there in my opinion. I don't think they'll add it anymore. I totally get why they didn't though. This is likely a reference to the recession, as the dealership was supposed to be complete in 2008, which is of course when the recession came. Ground was broken as well, and a good amount of it, which would make sense because construction likely started before the recession and was halted after the fact. Still, this is wasted land in Paleto Bay, which doesn't have much land to begin with, so hopefully it finds a purpose soon enough, although it may never. Next up, we have this unfinished plot of land in Paleto Bay. There's the rough foundation of a house in Paleto Bay right here. This was likely a demolition and a house was never actually started to be built here, but it is still construction nonetheless. It sits as it does now with an abandoned It sits as it does now with an abandoned It sits as it does now with a It sits as it does now with an abandoned Dinka Ballista compact currently occupying the land, and I put a new one here so you could kind of compare. Next up, we have an unfinished house in Paleto Bay as well. There's an unfinished house right here in Paleto Bay, just up the street from the prior property actually. This house is actually very far along. It looks quite old, so I believe this is more of a renovation construction project rather than a build from the ground up, because this is very old-fashioned. Even if this were to be built in 2010, it's still very old for the era. This is likely a very old house that kind of just needed some updates here and there, and they're updating it all at once. Either way, it's construction, and it is not complete as of now. Next up, we have a luxury store in Rockford. There appears to be a luxury store in construction kind of next to Vangelico, which is the jewelry store we rob in story mode. We actually go through this construction site during a setup mission for the heist as well, where we photograph the roof after. It's probably just a high-end makeup store or something similar, but regardless, it hasn't been completed yet. Next up, we of course have the infamous Mile High building. This is by far the most infamous construction site in Los Santos in GTA 5 in Rockstar history by far. This building is of course supposed to be a high-rise right smack dab in the middle of Los Santos, as prime real estate as it gets. This building was unfortunately never completed though. Some arguments are made on both sides as to why Rockstar can and can't complete this building, so I'll go over them here. Some say that because there are too many missions that take place here, Rockstar wouldn't be able to finish this building because then those missions would not be here. Some others say that Rockstar could just delete the missions that take place here, and if they are required like in some recent updates, like the cutting torch in the Elboro heist, then they could just make another location for the item to spawn in instead of here. Both of these points are valid, and Rockstar has patiently waited to finish this building. GTA 6 is now delayed until 2026, which means that Rockstar will have to extend GTA 5 Online's life for even longer. Unfortunately, it seems that they have just been releasing small updates that add minor changes and some quality of life changes here and there, so adding a completely new finished building to the map seems to be out of the picture as of now, but not entirely unlikely to happen either. It really is just up to Rockstar at the end of the day, and I'm sure we would all love to see the Mile High Club building be finished, but unfortunately we may never know until the near future. Next up, we have this nice looking house just west of the Vinewood Hills. It being in close proximity to the Vinewood Hills and it being near Los Santos, of course, this thing is going to have an insanely high price range. It has come a fairly long way in the construction process. It does have a good amount of framework and a foundation as well, and it's on a main street of a residential district, of course. Developers are losing tons of money by not building this house, and lots of fees are accumulating, but even if they started building it in 2013, I'm sure the property is worth more than that as of now. Next up, we have this broken up road by Vespucci. It's actually near a tattoo parlor, and this has been here for a very long time. In story mode, you actually see it when you're driving through that one mission to steal the bagger. And this massive pothole at this point has been here for a very long time. It has exposed pipework or whatever going on underneath, and this definitely needs to be fixed. But once again, it is a city project, so maybe it's not very high along the list of priorities, but it should definitely still be fixed very soon. And that is everyone. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave a like for the wonderful YouTube algorithm. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you to my channel members as well, which are Anawack, STRLTZ, KOIAER, and Byron. Become a channel member today to get 2 shoutouts each video I make, and I will see you all later. Have a good day or night or evening. I'll see you all later, and goodbye. Hey, hey, look, hey, look, hey, look. You better subscribe, because if you do not, I might cry. You better subscribe, I ran up the bands in GTA 5. You better subscribe, because if you do not, you might cry. You better subscribe, because if you don't, I might die. You better subscribe, I'm about to go crazy on the beat. You better subscribe, hey, wait for the beat to drop. Ooh, you better subscribe, hey, you better subscribe, I'm out of breath. You better subscribe,